talk to you about your recruits. So let's start with the freshmen. What do they bring to the table? What do you see from them in the short time you've had them? And what do you expect from them?
Yeah, I think the freshman class is a really solid class. The overall footballing IQ is high. Good teammates, hard workers, consistent, play well together. They're already fitting into the style and system, and I think they have some players they've got to compete with, which will help them raise their level. And then obviously getting up to the speed of college soccer takes a little bit of time, but I think that they have already shown the ability to do that, and I think that any 2 to 5 of them could have a significant impact this season.
Are you coming in with any injuries? Who's out starting the season, or is everyone healthy?
Almost everyone's healthy. We have one freshman who came in with an ACL injury from the summer, but other than that, everybody's healthy.
Y'all had the exhibition on Tuesday. What impressed you about the team from that, and what do you still need to work on before the season opener next week?
The consistency of the group, and it seemed like we didn't really miss a beat, especially in our back six, all our returners and mostly upperclassmen. So there's a lot of good leadership, consistency, communication, vocal leadership, organization skills are high. I think area that we need to improve on is in front of the opposition's goal. I think we need to be a little more clinical in the 18-yard box and do a better job finishing our chances. And then also we lost 3 very big personalities in the middle of the field, in 2 midfielders and a striker, Nikki Dowland, Chelf, and Gianna Christensen. So the identity of the team is shifting a little bit. We have a lot more firepower on the flanks, and so we're looking to utilize that quite a bit. But as we kind of establish that as an opportunity for us to be better, we also want to continue to have the threat down the middle. So that's an area we'll continue to improve on, which I think is a strength of the team. So I think it will happen naturally in due course.
You guys were picked to finish 8th in the Big 12 poll. You guys finished 6th last year. Do you guys pay attention to that? Is there any motivation, any fuel with that, or how do you guys kind of approach that?
I think being new to a conference, you're always going to be a little bit under-considered. I think we had players who should have gotten some more accolades last year and didn't, and I think that's because, as the conference isn't as familiar with them as other players they've watched for the 3 years and 4 years before. So I think we didn't quite get what we should have deserved in terms of team, accolades and the players getting recognized. So I think it's probably just, it's a very average, middle-of-the-pack kind of expectation for us. So I think it gives us something to blow out of the water, which is going to be our goal and expectation for ourselves.
And with, Gianna and Nikki did a lot of the scoring last year. Who are you seeing stepping into roles, maybe not having to do as much scoring, but who do you see kind of picking up some of that stuff?
Oh yeah, I think we'll have more offense from more areas than we had last year by far. I think our ability on the flank exceeds anything we've had since Jill Aguilera graduated, so I think that's going to be really strong for us. I think it'll open up the middle of the field, so I think we still will get a ton of goal scoring out of the center of the field from the midfield. Lily Boydston has scored a ton of goals. Sammy Beytash has the ability to score out of the midfield for sure, and we have a couple other players in there who can score as well, depending on if they're playing higher or lower in the midfield. But we will get around the ends, the corners of the field, and we will end up having different kinds of goals than we had last year. And so I think a little bit of the committee approach. I think we'll get more goals from a lot of people. Narissa will score, Rose will score, I think Aurora Gaines will score, Lily will score, Sammy will score, Jess Bedoya has shown she can score, and we've got a number of other players also who can finish, and then also set pieces. It's an area we haven't been super strong on in terms of producing, but I think that's an opportunity for us and something we've worked hard on through the spring and going into preseason to be ready to have more threats offensively on set pieces. So I expect we'll score there as well.
What did you like about Lily and Aurora as far as your transfers?
Yeah, what I like is they came back to us. It's the first group, the first class where we've recruited people. Maybe we came in number 2 or wherever in their list. They went somewhere else and then came back to us. So really excited about that sort of first for the program. Prior to that, we were recruiting players we hadn't previously been here long enough to recruit once before. So I think that made us feel very confident in the players we were picking up because we had watched them for years. And then also as people, they've slid into the team dynamics very, very easily and very nicely, and that's a credit to the group that's here, bringing them into the fold very quickly. But they're both capable of a lot, have high ceiling, athletically as well as their soccer IQ. So I think they fit really nicely into the team.
You have a few former Pac-12 foes on the non-conference schedule. Is that intentional to keep that level of competition early in the season?
Yeah, I think it's the one thing we kind of miss changing conferences is a perennial top 10 contender. So, we played UNC last year. We play Stanford this year. We'll play UNC at home in 26. So excited to have, those programs on our schedule. And I think it helps us know where the bar is if we want to reach, our highest highs, which is our goal and expectation for the season. And I think having that competition early lets us know where we're at, where we stack up, and what we need to improve on.
So now that all these players have been, ones you and your staff have been recruited now at this point, it's that first year of doing that, how does it feel? How does the program feel? Now it's kind of like totally yours now.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different. I think all of us in the spring kind of had this conversation of like, is the team different? And the players kind of said it, the coaches were like, yeah, something's a little bit different. But it's a little bit unique to the senior class we have. I always joke that they were horrible freshmen because they were all kind of natural leaders. And so they're kind of like following like, I would do it differently, So I think that they're kind of in their sweet spot as leaders. And we have 6, great personalities, great people, great players in our senior class. And so I think for them leading is natural, and it's been, really great to see.
You had some freshmen come in and do good things last year, Zoe and Rose and Kennedy, what do you expect from them in their second year?
Yeah, every year I've been here, we've had a lot of freshmen playing, and I think that class is large for us and very talented. It's the first class we were on time recruiting, so it ended up being big because we had a good shot to bring in a lot of talented players. I think they are very capable and very capable in the classroom and on the field, and generally their maturity level in life is high, even though they're probably our goofiest, most bubbly class. But I think that they all look solid in preseason, and like they put in a good shift over the summer and came in ready to go. So my expectation is they have to fill even bigger roles than they played last year, and I think they will. I hope they will.
Sophia and Aurora both played international. What do you think that does for them?
I think anytime you get exposed to another level, a higher level, equally high level if that's the case, but for them a higher level, I think it stretches you, it changes what your expectations are for yourself, it shows you a level of professionalism that I think is good for them to see and then bring that standard back here. And you're playing for a lot. There's a lot on the line in those environments, and so being comfortable with that kind of stress and expectation and the hopes of a nation on your back is a big deal. So I think it's been great for both of them, and I think they carry themselves with a different way because of the experiences that they had internationally.
We'll take one more. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.